Good morning. Today we're going to build a bunch of districts and designate out some pathways between them. So I began working on a huge expansion to the Thaldrim Vale. In order to do this, I had to mark out each of our new plots of land with a bunch of torches. But to understand why we're going to be doing this, I think it's time we take a look at the story.
The people want to know what is going on, my lord.
The High Priest of Mornington is trying to take us off the map, and Ensgate too. We do not know why, but we know it's likely something to do with where we are. There's no sound reasoning for him to hit Ensgate as well.
We are loyal monks, it makes no sense.
But as we sit in one building, in the shadow of this grand valley, we are invisible to all but him. We know he doesn't want the king to know of his actions, so he can't call an army against us. He can send pillagers and raiders, but with the great Arasich warriors protecting us, that will fail.
None shall get past us.
His only option now is the fleet. He can concoct a reason to deploy it and topple this building with a single shot. No one would know that we were ever here. We need to spread out and be so large that any attack could not go unnoticed. We have 31 families hiding away in this hearth. Some are great fighters, some are diligent farmers. Let's carve out a piece of land for each and develop each piece of land such that any strike they can make is useless. If the Fieldings build golden fields, and the Cloughs fine cloth, we can take it by the cartload to the capital, show them who we are, and bring the gold back for our own gain. The Loggins can build a cosy inn, and the brewers can fill it with honeyed mead. Every traveller will have fond memories of passing through this valley. If we seek to illuminate what the High Priest is doing in the shadows, we must be a beacon of light. The dog will run grand hedges between each swath of land, with wide pathways connecting each, and when anyone looks in this direction, they will see our people in the very shape of the land. The forge will produce a sword and shield for each and every person here. Collect your arms this evening.
If you've seen a few of my videos, you'll know that my approach to building is to rapidly construct whatever feels best at the time, and worry about changing it later. This creates the higgledy-piggledy, naturally evolving style that you see in a lot of European sort of towns and cities. But the problem is, there's always one person working on it. If I decide that a town needs a well, I put in a well. But in most big towns and cities, there isn't one person calling all of the shots. 2 or 3 people will often build the same thing, and whoever builds the best one, that's the one that survives. Or maybe there's a level of one-upmanship between 2 rivals. This is something I saw when I went to Berlin. While the city was divided, there were a huge number of buildings built specifically to compete with the other side, to sort of show off and prove how much better your side is. No single planner would ever do this. And another great example of this is something we see quite a bit in the UK, which is a folly. Follies are built by people for no real reason. They like them because they look good, and sometimes people will build follies to prove how cool they are. And so with all these quirks and oddities taken into account, that's really what I want to capture in this village as it becomes a city. I want to tell the stories, not just of the city, but of all the people in the city, the decisions they make, and why they make them. And this is a bit of an experiment, but I'm hoping the end result is going to look even better than our first city. And so here, we're introducing the concept of the hide. It's an old measurement of land, and it roughly means the amount of area needed for one family. It's not exactly clear what's meant by a family, but I've broken Thaldrim up into these sections, and I'm going to be working on them as if they're their own projects. I'm going to try to tell the story of each one and adapt them in relation to each other. And just to mix it up even more, I'm going to be giving a few of them away to other people. That could be you, the viewer, or it could be somebody I know online. Either way, I hope this new technique pays off and gives us a nice, interesting result. I found the random, incremental improvements really worked for the first city, and I'm hoping this will be even better.
That's 101 swords and an equal count of shields. The Smithsons have done a wonderful job.
The Arasich have organised a patrol for the perimeter, but we should still consider fortifications soon.
We don't have the materials for walls yet. Trading would be more beneficial. Gives a reason to approach our neighbors and make them aware of our presence. Send a letter to the High Priest for me. Make sure it's only received by him.
What should I write?
Tell him to try harder.